All right. Good evening, bonsoir tous. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Is actually a French webinar, but we decided to use English because we realized that most of us are English speakers, and we want everybody to gain something, and we want you to learn, relearn, and unlearn today. So we are going to be communicating in our generalized language, which is the English language. You all know that French is our target language. So I want to believe that everybody here is one way or the other an English speaker, but someone that is studying French or want to study French. Okay, so that is why you are in this webinar. So I really want to welcome you once again, and I am very much aware that most of us here too, you do not even know who is talking. So I will do a little bit of introduction and the reason for this webinar, and I'm going to invite our speaker. Then we go into the real deal that we have tonight. Okay, so my name is Olatimileye Adebisi. I am a Nigerian, proudly Nigerian, and I am a first class graduate of French from Ekiti State University. I'm currently a French tutor. I tutor people both online and offline. I have podcasts, I have YouTube, I host classes online, and I have a French community where French speakers across Nigeria meet together every month to do one or two things in French. So much are coming after this webinar regarding that. So in case you are a French learner and you're looking for a particular community to belong to, so you have an opportunity to belong to that group as long as you are in this webinar. Okay, so what do we have to talk about in this our webinar tonight? So we are looking into the topic how to overcome the fear of speaking French. How to overcome the fear of speaking French. Why do I come up across this topic, or why do I want to talk about this topic? Actually, I am in Nigeria, like I said earlier, and I have my whole life studying French in Nigeria as well. Like my whole life. Can only them or Olani, please type your message. Okay, so I have my whole life learning French in Nigeria, and I started learning French since when I was in GSS 1. And we all know that Nigeria is not a French speaking environment where you have people speak French often. We all speak English. So I started learning how to read, how to write. Then throughout to my university level, but at some point I realized that I have this French in me. More like I can read this French. I can I can even write it very well. But when it comes to speaking, I realize that it is a bit difficult for me. I do a lot of things to improve on this. A lot. So this is what brought about me creating a community whereby French speaker or French learners in Nigeria can join and boost their confidence in speaking French. I know it is a whole lot. There are a lot of things that are causing this, and there are lots of solutions to put an end to this problem. And that is why you are seeing this webinar coming live to you. And also, I'm not here alone. I have an expert coming on board to talk to us because this person have mastered French for a long time. He has been in this French thing for decades. He has been in this welcome Temitope Sakura. Okay, so like I was saying, he has been in this business, he has been speaking French for decades, so he's more experienced even than I do in this particular topic that we have today. So I have my own story, and whereas I know there are a lot of people that are passing through this same challenge. So how do I come in to help you? How do I come in to help you? So this webinar is basically for people that are in the community already. But then I will be so selfish when I know there are lots of Nigerians that are learning French across. So why do I not just express or send this thing to more people to join and learn how you can overcome this fear? I know it is our wish to learn French in school and to be able to speak it. And there is one popular saying that says about French, there is no point when you learn French and you cannot speak it. There is no point. What is the evidence? The very first thing somebody is going to ask you when you meet them for the first time, if you tell them you learn French, is parlez-vous français? Do you speak French? So it is not in your court if you can say oui or no, yes or no. So I'm going to introduce to us now, is going to take over from here, because that's just the storyline of why this webinar is coming. I have the community people in my mind, and I know what I've passed through staying in Nigeria all by myself, learning French just through schools and textbooks. But there are other practical ways at which we can incorporate French into our lifestyle, and it will become part and parcel of us. Rome is not built in a day. You cannot just expect magic overnight, but then there are some things you need to keep doing that will help you overcome this fear. So permit me to introduce to you Monsieur, that's Mr. in French, Olugbodi Ibiyemi as our speaker. So he's going to introduce himself properly to us, and he will go into details about the topic of today. So please come. I'm sure by now you should be with your pen and paper because you are going to learn a lot tonight. So please help me unmute yourself now and welcome Mr. Ibiyemi.
Okay,
Welcome.
thank you very
Welcome.
much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, sir. So we would like you to introduce yourself to us.
Thank you for
Introduce
having me
yourself
here.
properly to us,
I
yes. And
first of
after
all want
that,
to
let's go
appreciate
deeper.
my administrative. Yes, for this opportunity you are giving me to be here this night. It's just a privilege. So I will not take it for granted. So once again, thank you.
You're
Without
welcome.
wasting any time, because you actually said it is a webinar of just an hour, and you have spent already always any time. So quickly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Ibiyemi Olugbodi. Like the
So sorry, I think the network of our speaker just um got disconnected. So we have to wait a little bit for him. So in due course,
are you are you
okay, he's
there?
back. He's back. Yes, yes, we are here.
So are you still there?
Yes.
Oh, good. So without wasting any time, my name is Olugbodi Ibiyemi. I've been in this business of teaching people French for quite a long time now, almost 15 years now.
Wow.
I have my first degree in French. Right now, I have three different masters. I have a master in international affairs and diplomacy. I have a master in business administration, and I also have a master in French itself. So that is a bit about me for now. Without too much ado, like I said, today we'll be talking about how can we overcome the fear of speaking French. Is that not?
Yes, yes, that's our topic.
Yeah, good. I want to believe that everybody here, like DBC has said, we are all francophile. I want to believe that you know the meaning of francophile, right?
Me? Don't you?
What does it? What's the meaning of francophile?
Francophile is somebody that is learning French.
Yes, a francophile is a lover of French. A lover of French. So
Okay.
that is someone that has interest in speaking French, to know about French culture, someone that want to know everything about French people is a francophile, and I believe everybody here is a francophile.
Okay.
So and then I want to also believe that it is our dream to be able to speak French like a native, right?
Yes.
Um, though this may actually sound to be a wishful thinking, but I'm assuring you this night that it's actually possible. Though it may sound to be a wishful thinking, but it is actually possible. You can speak like a native speaker. If you put your mind there, if you are determined, you can actually do it. So I must also tell you that the reality is that a lot of us, we reach a block at some point of our learning process when speaking will be scary and full of anxiety and fear.
Mm.
So you must also know that it will reach a time when we are learning, there'll be that anxiety, there'll be that fear, there'll be that worry. It is also, you must also know that. Now, if you are once found yourself freezing when it comes to having conversation in French, especially with a native speaker or someone that speaks French better than you, it is normal. So there's no cause for alarm. There's no what? There's no
Cause for
cause.
alarm.
There's no cause for alarm.
Okay.
So I was once in that stage, and I want to believe that many of you will also be in that stage. If you have never witnessed that, you won't witness it. But if you witness it, there is no cause for alarm. It is completely normal. So thankfully, we are here to learn ways to ease and overcome our fear of speaking French, regardless of who we are communicating with, regardless of the circumstances behind it, whether it's for an interview or you are meeting a French speaker, or you are meeting a native speaker. So the reason of this seminar, of this uh, talk show, is for you to know that you can actually overcome the fear of speaking French. So there's no cause for alarm. So quickly, before you go further, who can tell me, who can actually try to translate the topic of today, which is how to overcome the fear of speaking French? You can try, let me see that in French. Can you try, can you tell me the translation? Like I said, I want to believe that everybody here is a francophile. That is, one way or the other, we have the idea, of speaking French. So you may have an idea of how to translate the topic, how to overcome the fear of speaking French. Can somebody try that? Yes, I don't want a DBC this time around. Any other person? Can you try, just make a trial, how to overcome the fear of speaking French? Can you say that in French? Okay, nobody. Are you still with me? If you are with me, raise up your hand, please. If you truly are hearing me, okay. Moyi, okay. Who again? Who is hearing me clearly? Okay, good. So, okay, I was actually asking you to try to translate the title of today, which is how to overcome the fear of speaking French. Okay, nobody's trying. Okay. Like I said, you can just make a trial. Nobody will actually penalize you or make just of you. Okay. Now you can actually try by translating it as comment surmonter la phobie de pouvoir parler français. Comment surmonter la phobie de parler français ou de pouvoir parler français? Comment surmonter la phobie de pouvoir parler français? So something like that. In translation, you have different ways. You may also have your way
Yeah.
that may be rhymed. So there's no a specific, you know, there's not just one way to translate a sentence or a word. You may have your own ways, but the meaning must actually be the same. So one of the way could be one of the way could be comment surmonter la phobie de pouvoir parler français. So that's one of the way. Thank you, Femi. Thank you, Femi, for joining as well. So, Femi, we are talking about, you came a bit late, we are talking about how to overcome the fear of speaking French.
Please mute
Okay.
your mic, Femi.
So, can you unmute yourself? Très bien. Thank you. So, now, don't forget again, as Ali said, I said the topic has to do with how do we overcome the fear of speaking French. And I said, you know, it will come, in the process of learning French, there'll be a time where, in your journey of learning French, when speaking French will be scary, it will be full of anxiety, it will be full of fear. And I said, you should not worry if that one come your way. It's normal. It's normal and there's no cause for alarm. So that's one of the things to take home, that it is normal and there's no cause for alarm. Now, what are the systematic approach to overcome it? So I will list 3 or 4 different ways you can adopt to overcome the fear of speaking French. So if you follow it religiously, there's tendency that you overcome the fear of speaking French. If you follow the step I will give you right now religiously, there is tendency that you overcome the fear of speaking French. Now, one of the way you can actually adopt, for you to ease the fear of speaking French is that you should not ignore the fact that in the process of speaking French, you make mistake. That's the first step. In the process of speaking French, you will make mistake. Not ignore that. Not ignore the fact that in your process of speaking French, you make mistake. So when that is at the back of your mind that so it's normal that I make mistake, so the fear will go. So don't. It's not because uh, you are the best in your class when you're in school. It is not because you write correctly. No, you meet some people while speaking with them. They will easily discover your mistake. So when that one is done, don't be afraid. It is normal. You are not a francophone. You are an anglophone. You are not a francophone. So it is not your first language. So you making mistake is actually normal. There's no cause for alarm. When that one is established, it will go a long way in helping you to ease the fear of speaking French. And again, like we normally say, mistake is part of learning process. Mistake is what?
Mistake
Part
is part of learning process.
learning process. So don't forget that. So mistake is part of learning process. So no one is expecting you to speak fluently at first. Nobody is expecting that. Nobody is expecting you to speak fluently at first. Nobody. Even do you know that when an anglophone hear, sorry, when a francophone person hear an anglophone speak French, they are always amazed.
Mm.
And vice versa, the same thing. As you are speaking English here now. Yes, as you are speaking, where you are anglophone. So if you see somebody like, for instance, in Ghana, in Togo, in Cote d'Ivoire, speak English, you should be amazed as well because that's not their first language. So it's also normal. So a native hearing a non-native speaking their first language fluently, they'll be amazed. So you make a mistake, you should not worry you at all. Even like I said, a native speaker will be amazed you speaking French, trying to speak their language. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Good. So meaning that you should not ignore the fact that you make mistake. So when you make mistake, it's part of learning process. It's
Process.
part of it. So you must when you have that at the back of your mind, you not be afraid. There will not be any anxiety. There will not be any worry. If you just have that at the back of your mind, good. And again, in the process of speaking French, still talking about not ignoring the fact that you make mistake. Don't compare yourself with anyone progress.
Mm.
Don't compare yourself with any other person's progress. Don't do that. For instance, if you're in the same class or if you're in the same community and you think that I'm making more progress than you want to compare yourself with me, you go, in fact, you not progress at all. You'll be overwhelmed with fear. Don't compare yourself with another person. And again, talking about the issue of comparison, do you know that comparison in every other facet of life actually make people not to progress at all? Now we are not even talking about French language this time around. In every other aspect of life, when you compare yourself with another person, there's tendency that you not progress because you focus more on your weakness than on your strength. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Yes, you focus more on your weaknesses than on your strength. And don't forget that everybody is actually different. The way we are wired by God, we are actually different. So you must respect individualism. You must respect individualism, respect yourself the way you are. Don't compare yourself with another person in the process of learning French. That's one of the ways you can actually overcome the fear of speaking French. Don't ever compare yourself with any other person. Don't do that. And again, in the process of learning French, I'm still talking about not ignoring the fact that there will be mistake in the process of learning. When you are learning, try to accept constructive um,
Don't compare yourself with
correction.
other person's progress.
Yes. Then in the process, try to get feedback from your mistake for your development. Try to get feedback from the mistake. Try to do what? Try to get feedback. By feedback, I mean, the process of learning, you may meet some people that would like to correct you. And when you are doing that, don't feel any inferiority complex. Don't do that. Because in French, actually, French is a bit, it actually is a bit complicated when it comes to the issue of gender, number, pronunciation. For instance, in French, you have indefinite pronouns, you have indefinite articles, blah blah. For instance, you want to say le livre, la livre, you say la maison, you say le maison. It will be confusing sometimes. So when somebody corrects you, try as much as possible to accept that correction. Don't feel shy. Don't do that. So that is, you get the feedback for your mistake, just for your own development. So these are a few ways, for you to overcome the fear of speaking French. And again, now I'm done on the issue of you not ignoring the fact that there will be mistake. So the second aspect of it now I want to talk about is try to practice speaking French in front of a mirror, which is actually possible. I did it a lot of time. Now, you first of all don't jump. Don't do what? Don't jump to start, speaking French with other people. Don't do that. Don't jump to start speaking French with other people that speak French as well. Don't do that. First of all, because you are still learning, try as much as possible, you know, in your house, inside your room, to find a way in front of a mirror. Speak to the mirror, you see yourself, speak. If possible, you can also record it. Record what you are saying. Record what you are saying. And when you record what you are saying and you are speaking in front of the mirror, it's as if you are speaking to another person. Do you know that?
Yes.
Good. Now while doing that, the magic of it is that you get to listen to yourself later. And when you are listening to yourself later, it will be fun, it will be amazing. You will see your mistake by yourself. Now, on yourself, you try to correct those mistakes.
Mm.
So you actually listen to yourself after some time, it will be amazing. I do up to this moment I do it.
Mm.
Up to this moment I still do it, especially in the issue of recording oneself. The issue of recording oneself, I do it a lot of time. So now, like I said, just try this strategy. Sometime, go in front of your mirror, speak to yourself, you know, have a kind of conversation, and then try to speak to yourself and try to record it as well. After some time, try to listen to what you are saying. I know you'll be laughing, you'll be smiling, and then while doing so, you will see your mistake and you try to correct them. It means that your mistake will not be seen by another person except you. So when you are seeing your mistake by yourself, you try to correct them. But at the same time, you are laughing, you are smiling doing that. So you identify your mistake easily. Recently, I was opportunity to have at a few interviews with some native speaker, and some part of the interview has to be done in French. Some aspect of the interview has to be done in French. And when I got the invite for the interview, I think the interview was the person that was the person that was supposed to interview me in French is from some part of Europe. I think yes, in Canada. So in the process of the interview is supposed to be I think 15 minutes just to assess my proficiency in French. So I was also ready for them. And in the process of interview, I tried to record myself. So like I said, the interview is supposed to be 15 minutes. When we started the interview in French, I just spent 2 minutes. The speaker, or the recruiter said, I'm sorry, I'm afraid I need to stop the interview now. I've got what I want to get. Goodbye. I was scared. Is it that I made some mistake that I was actually surprised and I was, the fear was, I was overwhelmed with fear. Say, is it that I made mistake in the process of speaking with this man? The interview is supposed to be 15 minutes, and he just told me that within 2 or 3 minutes, said no, I'm done. I've got what I want to get. So goodbye for now. It was after 3 or 4 days, I got an email from them that yes, uh, Mr. Ibiyemi, um, we are pleased to tell you that you passed this phase of the interview. Blah blah. I say, hey. So this is what the man was actually trying to say. It was later when I tried to listen to myself again and I saw the way I actually performed. So now telling you that sometimes when you get to visit yourself, it is amazing, it is fun, and yourself you get your mistake, you see how you perform. Those are different ways you can actually adopt to overcome the fear of speaking French. So I do it a lot. I do it a lot. I do it, especially the issue of recording oneself. Please try it. If you try it, we see it will help you a lot. So try it. So don't forget, the first the first step I mentioned, the process of overcoming the fear of speaking French. I mean, the first what was the first step I did mention of? Who can remind me the first step I
Do not
mentioned in the process?
Okay, do not ignore the fact that in the process of learning French, you make mistakes.
Good. What was the second aspect? Another person? Another person? If you are following, can you tell me the second step you can actually follow or adapt, the second strategy you can adopt to overcome the fear of speaking French based on what I've said before now? Are you following, please?
Are you following us?
I don't know if that one is the like maybe it's the second step because the network was breaking. Like don't be
Okay.
afraid to speak or to make mistake. Like you should always communicate. Like don't be afraid to
Yes. Okay.
communicate. To
Okay. You
make
actually
mistake
try.
rather. Don't be
Yes.
afraid to make mistake.
Yeah. It's still part of the fact that you make mistake. Yes. Yeah, you actually tried. It's part of what I said. That was the first strategy. Don't ignore the fact that you make mistake. It's still part of it's under it. Yeah, the second one was I said don't compare yourself with
Compare
anyone.
yourself. Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, don't compare yourself with anyone. In the process of comparing yourself with other person, there won't be any progress. And I said even in every other facet of life, if you compare yourself with anybody, there's tendency that you focus more on your weaknesses than your strengths. So not only speaking French, any other aspect of life, don't ever compare yourself with another person. The way you are wired by God is actually different. So respect individualism. That's what I said. Okay. Then the third one was I said try as much as possible to speak in front of a mirror and then record yourself. That was the last thing I said.
Yes, sir.
Try some time to speak in front of a mirror and try to record yourself. I just give you an instance now that I had an interview a few weeks ago. I needed to record myself to listen to the way I was speaking with the recruiter that called me from Canada. I still have, maybe later I can share with some people. I still have the record with me. Sometimes I listen to it and I will just be smiling. So that's just it. So record yourself sometime. It goes a long way. Now let's continue without wasting our time. We have spent a lot of time already. Now another aspect is that try as much as possible to slow down while speaking. Try as much as possible to slow down while speaking. Don't rush it. Don't do that. Don't rush it. Though if you get to a level, it will be some other people that will be saying that you are speaking very fast. Yet you get to that level. For instance, when I speak, to me, to the best of my knowledge, I don't believe that I speak fast. But when I speak, sometimes people tell me that I speak very fast, especially when I speak French. To me, I don't believe that I speak fast. So if you get to a level, some people will tell you are speaking fast, which is normal. But to you, it's not because you see me or you think I'm speaking fast. In the process of speaking, you also be speaking very fast, and the process will just mix everything up. Don't do that. Just try to select your words when you are speaking, and by so doing, you get everything done perfectly. Now, that's another step. Now, another strategy you can actually adopt in the process of overcoming or is your fear, of speaking French is that sometimes you can even get a private teacher, you can get a private tutor. Now, the person will now serve as a mentor to you. You have a direct access to the person. Is different from um, calling a friend from but if you have somebody that's your tutor, your direct person, you can easily communicate with that person, the person you put you through, in the event you make some mistake, because you have a direct contact with that person. So it may get to a time where you need to employ a private tutor, a private teacher that will mentor you, a private coach that will mentor you. You must have accessed the person to some extent, believing that he speaks French better than you, believing that is a master in this business. So when you employ that person to be your private teacher, your private tutor, you encourage you, and then the fear of speaking French will be eased. It will be totally go, just because you have somebody beside you can easily talk to, somebody that can easily correct you. So you cannot it may reach that level, it may reach that stage um where you need to engage a private teacher, a private tutor, a private coach. If need be, you need to do that. That person will be tutoring you, will be mentoring you, and then you have access to him directly. Now, when you now get to that level, but if you follow the step I just mentioned so far religiously, you can easily now go out there and speak with anybody that speaks French with confidence. You can do that. If you follow the step I've just mentioned so far religiously, you can go now to meet anybody that speaks French to some extent. You can have a conversation with the person and to be successful. It will be useful, and then you see yourself speaking French without any fear at all. If you follow the step I just gave religiously, if you follow it the way I said it, it will go a long way. I've tried it and it has helped me, and I know it can actually help you as well. If you try it like that, it can actually help. Now, in this aspect now, I need to mention someone I used to know when I was still in school. That person was in another department. I was in French department. The person was in zoology department. In that came to our department. It was the time they pasted our first semester result. You saw our result. It was amazing. You saw some people scoring A, B. So and in that saw my results. To him it was actually amazed. He was surprised to see someone in 100 level then. get almost A in in all the courses. You needed to find that person. You needed to know that person. You know, he made his own he made his findings, and he was able to get me. He was able to know the person, and I discovered that I was the one. He met me. We became friends. Like I said, it was in zoology. Totally different from French. It was in zoology department. When he met me, he had to ask me some questions. He asked, "How do you do it? For you to have scored A in all these subjects, in all these courses, and you are just in 100 level." I smiled. I needed to explain one or two things to him. From there, instantly, he picked interest in learning French. Pick interest. He said he needed to meet me. He got my number. Immediately he said, "Is it possible for you to be calling me sometime?" I said, "Why not?" He started calling me. And after some time, he told me that he registered with Français, I think for 2 or 3 months. And then he bought some books. Before you know it, he started speaking French. Don't forget, the person is not in French department. Oh, totally different. Was in zoology department. So he started calling me sometime. You call me, you send some sentences, he asked me to correct it. He said he saw this in one dictionary, or he saw somebody speaking, he saw somebody saying this, is it correct? Sometimes I correct him, sometimes I referring to where he needs to go, or where he needed to go. I now discovered that after some time I saw progress. Do you believe that as I'm talking to you now, this person speaks French fluently? As I'm talking to you
Mm.
now. He didn't
Wow.
read any French, he
No.
speaks French fluently. In fact, there was a time he actually challenged me. He said the same system, the same strategy he adopted, he said he can actually adopt it for other foreign languages, the likes of Spanish and Arabic. He now said we can be a partner so that sometimes we communicate, we have conversation together. He now said he gave me some site to go and then to check, and sometimes if I have something to say, I can call him, I can send him messages. I told him I said, for now, I don't have that time. I thought it was a joke. Will you believe that he said call me, I think sometimes last year, that he's actually perfect in Arabic, he's perfect in Spanish. I said,
Ah.
wow.
Hey.
I said, wow. I said, wow. So just for you to see the determination in him, meaning
Mm.
that if you are actually determined, French speaking is actually it's even easy because you are surrounded with, you know, francophone countries, unlike Arabic and Spanish. So in the process of speaking with other people, now you must also know that you must spend money, you must invest in yourself. You buy books, you buy dictionaries, like I said, you have private teacher, you spend. Now if you even have money, you can even travel to all these neighboring countries, the likes of Benin Republic, the likes of Togo. If you get to Lagos, for you to get to Benin Republic, you can spend less than 5 to 10,000 to get to Togo. I mean to get to Benin Republic. If you get to Lagos, because it's not that far from Lagos. So these are different ways you can actually adopt if you want to overcome your fear of speaking French. Now, like I said, you must spend money. You must spend. You must invest in yourself. If you want to speak French, you must invest in yourself. Now, if you follow this step again, like I said, it will get to a time you face some other challenges. Now, let me ask you this quick question: have you ever trusted blindly, gotten stabbed in your back? Yeah, I'm not talking about people. I'm not talking about relationship. No, I'm talking about French vocabularies, because French and English share a complicated linguistic history, which has led actually to have some some fake friends. Fake friends. I mean, in French,
Fozami.
there is an expression we call faux amis,
Oui. Fozami.
fake friend, false friend. Meaning that you get to a time you see this friend, there will be some words that look alike, which they are totally different. So you get to that level as well. So don't say because you are speaking French now, you are speaking now, you think you are speaking, and now you not get to level. You not see some words that look alike. You not get confused. Don't be afraid as well. Don't be afraid as well. You can actually overcome that if you invest in yourself. By the time you are familiar with these words, you'll be able to differentiate them easily. By the time you invest in yourself to that extent, you see this word, you'll be able to differentiate them easily. I will give you some words that look alike, which French people call faux amis. Faux amis, that is fake friends. Now, let me give you some of those fake friends. Now check your message now. The message part. I will send you some words now. You will see. The first one I send. Okay, look, I'll give you 10 different words that look alike. So if you see them, you think they look alike. They're actually they are faux amis. They are fake friends. They are false friends. Now, one. Look at what I sent just now. Now, the first column talk about French word, French words, while the second column talk about English words. I listed 10. Can you see them?
Yes, we can.
Please check your message. Do you know how to check your message? Please, if you have seen those words as
Yes,
friends,
we
just
can.
good, good. Yes, you can see it. Now, look at the first aspect I said. I wrote, can you see those words? Do they look alike?
Yes, they do.
Good. The first one in French, they call it ancien. The
Yes,
English is ancient.
patient.
It's not the same thing.
They're
Now,
not.
what does ancien means in English? It means former.
Mm.
It's not ancient, but they look alike. You can see it. Maybe if someone's speaking, you can see these two words, or you can see it in maybe you can see it in the textbook somewhere. In the process of translating it, you get confused and then you be overwhelmed with fear. So when you are familiar with this type of words that look alike, that is when you have invested yourself, in a lot of materials, in a lot of activities that can actually ease the fear of speaking French. You must be aware with. There are more than this. I'm just giving you these few ones. Now look at attendre and attend. They look alike as well.
Yes,
Attend means to wait.
wait.
To attend to someone
Mm.
different. It's not the same thing. They look alike. You may see something like this in a sentence, and then in the process of translating it, you get it amiss. Look at this one also. Look at the third one, bras and bras. If you are I remember this whenever you are teaching students and you mention this, they'll be laughing.
Yeah, les parties de corps.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Bras, yes, in English, bras in French is
Arm.
your arm. Yes, bras here in English is not the same thing.
Mm-mm.
That okay?
We.
Now, what is bras in French? The bras is the women what they wear is not bras in French. They don't call it bras. They call it soutien. Soutien.
Soutien de
This
gorge,
is
oui.
soutien.
Les soutiens.
Yes, soutien. That's what they call it. So it's not the same thing, though it look alike. It's not the same thing. Now look at the next one. Look at in French. Look at the number 5. Who can pronounce this? Who can read number 5 for me? Who can read it for me? Number 5.
Number 5, button,
No,
button.
you see now, button and button. They look alike. Button. What is button in French? Button is not button. It is when your face is not
Rough.
fresh. When
Pimples.
you have when you have pimples all over your face.
Oui.
The French people call it tu as des
Button.
boutons
Sous
sur
sa
ta face, tu as des
visage.
boutons. Oui, sur ton visage, tu as des boutons. So button is not button. Button is when you see on when you have your dress, your this thing, you have your button there. No. Look at another word that look alike again. Look at money and money. Can you see this one as well?
Yes,
Money,
yes.
money. Is it the same thing?
No.
What the first one? Who can tell me the first one and the second one?
Monet, that should be changed.
Money. Yeah, the first one is change. Money here is money. You read money, you know. It's not the same thing. Look at the number 7, envy and envy. It's not the same thing. It also look alike. Now these are the words we see in French that will look complicated, and then if it is not taken in the process of translating or interpreting, you know, you may be overwhelmed with with fear, worries, and anxiety. And then if the care is not taken, you may think that you are not making any progress. No, you are making progress. Only that you should be used with you should invest yourself to the extent that when you see these words, no, you'll be able to differentiate them easily. So the number 7 here, envy and envy is not the same thing. Though it look alike. Now envy here means desire. When you feel like doing something, j'ai envie de manger, j'ai envie d'aller au marché, j'ai envie de te parler. Different from
Along with
envy, when
the
you're envious of somebody. So the someone is you know sometimes people interchange envy with jealous. To be jealous of someone, it's not the same thing. Though envy here is a negative emotion, while jealousy is positive emotion. For instance, you are envious of someone, you are jealous of someone. Now, number 8 says journée and journey. Journée, see again, they look alike. So they are not the same thing when you are translating them. You don't translate them the same thing. What does journée mean? What does journey mean as well? Now, journée means what in French? Journée. In English,
day,
I mean in English. Hmm?
your day, like
Y- Yes, yes, your day.
if you do
If I,
hold
for
you.
instance, I want to say jour. If I want to say, for instance, how was your day? It's different from how was your journey. It's not the same thing. Ça was comme était la journée. Vous voyez? Donc, in the process of learning, those are the things you will see. The same thing applicable to the number 9 and number 10. Look at number 9, the two words look alike as well. You have librairie, you have library. Two words they look alike, but they are actually totally different. What is librairie in French?
That's
What is library as well?
bookshop,
Librairie huh? Is
library,
what?
bookshop,
Yes, bookshop where you get your book. When you want to buy books,
books.
you want to buy your
The very like
stationaries. You go
the
to yes, you go to the library. What about not library in French then?
bibliothèque.
Library is where you go to read books. If when you're in university, for some of us that stay in school, you go to your library to read books during exam and the likes. So in French it's called bibliothèque.
Oui.
Bibliothèque. Though look at the spelling here, almost the same thing. And the last one, look at it. Look at it. You have coin, and coin is not the same thing. Yeah, the first one means what?
It means a hole or something hidden, like a coven, something like that.
The first means coin. Coin means corner. Corner. Ici, dans un
Okay.
coin de la maison. Je suis dans un coin de
Something
ma
that
maison.
that is hidden.
Yeah, yes. That's good also. It's really so it's in the corner. But when you are talking about, before now, we used to use coin in Nigeria, but you're not more using it. But there are some countries where coin is actually used. Do you know that?
Yes.
Yes, up till now, they still use it. But it's not the same thing. Though the two words look alike, but those two words are not actually different. So these are what different people call faux amis. They can easily confuse you. They can easily lead you what astray. But if you are familiar with them, if you have invested yourself, you know, in buying books, in reading, and then involving in some activities, you can easily discover this mistake. You can easily discover them. So these are different things you will actually see in the process of learning French. So when you see them, like I said, it is actually normal, you know, but don't be overwhelmed with fear. You can overcome them if you invest yourself to some extent. So now these are different ways you can actually adopt to overcome the fear of speaking French. These are different ways you can overcome to um, you can actually overcome to ease your fear of speaking French. So this this is the little things I can actually share with you that can help you if really you want to overcome the fear speak French, regardless of who you meet, regardless of the circumstances that is surrounding you. It is actually possible for you to overcome French and to overcome the fear of speaking French. So again, as we are rounding up, who can remind me the different step I mentioned in the process of the process of overcoming the fear of speaking French? How do you overcome your fear? I mean, your fear of speaking French. I mentioned some step now, some strategy. Who can remind me those steps for those that came late, for them to for them to learn as well. So this is the end of this seminar. I want to believe that you took some note in the process of listening to me, and then for people that came late, who can actually remind us of the strategy I actually mentioned, who can
Okay.
remind me quickly.
Yes, well done, sir. You've really done a very good job. Okay, so I'll quickly list them out. You've given us like massive 8 steps, amazing eight
Okay,
steps that you can
Damilola, okay.
follow. Okay, somebody is raising hands. Yes, please talk.
Yes, Damilola want to answer the question. She want to help us, especially to help those that actually came late. So, what are the strategies you can actually adopt? What are the steps you think you can adopt based on what I've listed before now? Give us some of them you can easily remember. Then, other you also pick from them.
Okay. Um, don't compare yourself with anyone. As in avoiding comparison.
Good,
Um, making mistake because it's part of learning. Trying to speak in front of the mirror and recording it. Then you listen to it later.
good,
Trying to slow down while speaking, like not speaking fast.
good.
I think that okay, and also having a private coach.
Yeah. If need arise, yeah, good. Yes, if need arises, good, good. And we can actually add on to this again. I think she has mentioned actually everything. We can actually add one or two things again. So another person that want to add one or two things.
Yes,
Okay, Agbo, again is
Agboyin.
Sola.
Yeah.
Agbo, you can
Yeah,
you hear us?
though she has mentioned part of it, and the one I wanted to add, or the one I want to add is don't rush while speaking. Like you should always select your words and speak slowly.
Maybe, yes, that's it. Yes. Again, because in the process of listening to a speaker or somebody that you think speak French better than you may think that that person speak fast. You may think or you assume, but for the person may not see himself or herself speaking fast. Now, in the process of maybe the process of copying the person, you now start to speak fast. In the process, you just mess everything up. So don't try that. So in the process of speaking, try as much as possible to select your words and make some simple and correct sentences in the process of doing that, and then you see you go a long way. Good. Another person, quickly. Uh, another person, any other person. Do you have any other thing you can remember based on what I said? Quickly, quickly, quickly. We have spent our. Adebisi, can you remind us one or two things?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I can actually say the remaining, Abby. Be determined.
Okay,
Yeah, be determined. Your course of study shouldn't be a barrier. That is, you don't have
good.
to be a language student before you want to learn how to speak languages or French. Then be ready
Yes,
to spend money,
yes.
to invest in yourself, to buy books, to travel around to French speaking environment and to get resources and tools. And also the last amazing one is
Mm,
study your foes and me. That's your fake friends, the ones that are looking familiar in English and
mm,
French. Yes. Like
mm,
invest in
mm. So,
studying pose and me.
Hmm. Exactly. What does that mean? Très bien. Good. Okay, I just saw the end of Damilola or something. Okay, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, okay. So this is the end of today's seminar. Not to believe that you have learned one or two things, and you can actually take something home now. And I want to believe that if you follow this step we just mentioned religiously, it will go a long way, to help you to overcome the fear of speaking French. Thank you.
So I don't know if you answered my question.
Okay, sorry, you have some question. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me check my comment. Okay, yes, she said, what books would you recommend? Okay, we have a lot of books you can actually buy depending on your level. We have different levels. We have those that are just starting, that they call them beginners. So we have the next step after the beginner as the what do you call them again? So we have beginners that is that are just starting learning French. After those ones, we have the intermediary that is the next step after the beginners, and then we have the last stage which is advanced. Advanced. Sorry. Then the last one is advanced level. So based on your level, so that is when you can actually recommend. You cannot just ask you to buy or to like now like the okay for those of you that there was a seminar that was held yesterday. Now and then that was doing the study. The book was La Bête La Bête La Bête, La Belle something. It's a very, when I went through the book, I discovered that it's full of activities. If you go through that book and then you go through it religiously, I'm assuring you that it will go a long way. That book, is actually loaded. And again, one of the things you need to know, and one of the material you need to have is what they call how the conjugation. How the conjugation. Now, how the conjugation can be found anywhere in any bookshop. You go there, tell them you want how the conjugation in French. Now, how the conjugation is full of French verb. How do you conjugate verbs in different tenses? So that's even the beginning of learning French. You must have you must have a book called Art de Conjugaison, where the only thing we see there is how to conjugate verb in different tenses, in present tense, in past tense, in future tense, blah blah blah. Those are the things you need to have first, because if you are speaking on instead of you past tense, you are using present tense. You are using future tense. Now you are missing everything up. It will not help you, and then it will make you to look as if you're not learning anything. So I will recommend, try, irrespective of your level, try to get out the conjugaison. So if you go to any bookshop, just ask them you need out the conjugaison in French. They show you. When you buy it, you study it, you see the way verbs are conjugated. What I mean by conjugated is where the way verbs are used in different tenses, present tense, past tense, future tense. We have different tenses in French. So if you follow that ad conjugaison, it will go a long way. And then in the process of buying that, you can also see any French novels. You can also buy anyone. You study the words, you underline. And again, one of the things to add is just try to have a diary where you have your vocabularies. Even up to now, I do it every day. I get to know a new word in French, a new word every day, a new word, a new sentence, a new word. Then when I get a new word and a new sentence, if I communicate with you or I have a chat with you, I will try I try my best to insert that word or that expression. Do you get what I'm saying? If I learn a new word today and I'm speaking French with you or I'm chatting with you in French, I will try as much as possible to insert that word I learned, to insert that sentence, that new sentence I learned. Maybe I saw it in a dictionary. Maybe I just want to send it. I'll also try as much as possible to use that sentence that very day, especially if I have a conversation with you, chatting or by maybe a full conversation. So those are different ways you can actually adopt a learning friend. Try to get try to get a diary where you have your daily record of new things you are learning every day. Every day. You get a new one. Well, at least one per day, at least one. So if you do that, just imagine yourself how many words you get in a month, in a week. To help your vocabularies. And when you are loaded with vocabularies, there will not be any fear when you express yourself. It will not be difficult for you to choose words. The fear comes when you are looking for words in your head. For instance, you say something, I want to express myself, I want to reply, I'm looking for words to use. And the words are not coming, the sentences are not coming. There tendency that we want to fear because there's no vocabulary in my head. There's no word. So try to get a lot of vocabulary. So every day, try as much as possible to have a new one. Have a dictionary, have a diary where you are getting new words almost every day. Almost every day to go a long way. Thank you. Any other person? Any other question apart from book you can recommend?
I have two
Sorry.
questions.
Lá de conjugação, lá. Like this. Let me type it. Let me type it. I wish what that. Okay, I've sent it. Là de conjugação. Lá de conjugação. That was his type. Yes. 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 Très bien. What again? My first question is what advice can you give to someone reading French without understanding? The advice is that get a pocket dictionary. I mean, a dictionary you can take anywhere. In the process of learning, in the process of reading, even in English, there are some words you may not understand, you may not know the meaning. So you just get you get your word, and then again, when you are reading a French novel, don't expect to know to get the meaning of all the words 100%. If you get 70% of what you are reading, it's still okay because you are still in the process of learning. You don't expect to get 100% of all the words. No, you just get a dictionary by your side, a pocket dictionary. You can easily open to take the words. So it will go a long way. Can I use yes? Try to quickly do that.
Okay, what I'm trying to ask is, it's not that uh I'm new to some words, so
Okay.
maybe reading a sentence. In the process of maybe reading a novel, you're just reading everything. Maybe if it is in English, you can understand easily. But why it is
French.
French, I'll have to wait a bit before understanding a particular sentence before moving to the next sentence.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah. No,
Like
I think I did mention something like that. What now that stage of your life, that stage or that stage where you get and then you discover that you need to wait a bit before you understand what you are reading, before you understand what they are saying is actually normal. And you should expect that. Is because you are still learning. You are not, like I said, you are not a native speaker. So do I expect for you to know the meaning of everything just at a glance, at once? No. Like what you said just now, it takes some minutes. It takes a while before you understand. Yes, it's since you understand, okay, to read a sentence like this, you understand it just at a go. No, no, unless you have gone to the extent, unless you have reached the level now of an advanced speaker, then that one, if that one occur, it means that you need to be worried. But if you are still in the middle, it's still fine. It's still fine. So if it takes some time before you understand, yes, it's fine. There's no cause for alarm. It's still okay. Another person, another person. I think at ABC they are done. Hello? Yes. Mm,
Yes, thank you so much. I've gained a lot and I know things to do better now to aid my learning. Thank you.
Yeah, I gained something. I've gained some. Yeah, I'm talking. I have gained something tonight rather, and I've gained how to like select my words. Like I should speak slowly. I should not rush, and as time goes on, I'll be able to like I should try to always face my fear. But I have fear in communicating. So I've learned that tonight that I should always face my fear in communication, communicating with others. I should not be fearful. I should always speak.
Okay, good. That's most. Mm.